Assalamualaikum. Today we'll discuss about the last part of chapter 6, forms of organizational structure, which is on informal organization, and discuss intrapreneuring. I guess everyone knows what are entrepreneurs, but then maybe some of you just heard about intrapreneur today. So at the end of this chapter, you should be able to describe the informal organization and discuss intrapreneuring. After looking at what is informal organization, we'll look at the informal groups in the informal organization. We'll look at organizational grapevine. What is grapevine? Grapevine communication in the organization, and intrapreneuring in the informal organization. Contrary to a formal organization, an informal organization does not depend on the relationships of rank per se. Even functions of people do not define their position within the organization. So what is informal organization? It is a network unrelated to the firm's formal authority structure of everyday social interactions among company employees. Frequently, the informal organization, everyday social interactions among employees that go beyond the formal jobs and job interrelationships that might alter a company's formal structure. Let me give you an example of this informal organization. For example, when you go for lunch, alright, you may create this informal organization. You talk about non-related topics such as families. You talk about kids. You talk about movies. You talk about current issues. That is called informal organization. The informal groups in the organization. So in informal organizations, personal attitudes, prejudices, likes and dislikes determine human relationships. People find a place in the organization depending on these informal factors. This level of organization is sometimes just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the formal structure. They inculcate a sense of unity and togetherness among their members that may reinforce the formal organization, that may strengthen the formal organization, that may support whatever that the formal organization did. However, there are disadvantages of this informal organization. It can reinforce office politics that put the individual interests ahead of those of the firm. This is relating to the cultures. The member have to conform to a set of togetherness. This in turn can lead them away from the larger organizational objectives. So this is among the disadvantages of informal organization. The other one is it may communicate distorted or inaccurate information. If let's say someone has communicate about something, about an issue in the organization, but it is a false information, so it will lead to a new problem in the organization, in which it may affect the relationship in the organization. It may affect the productivity of an employee in the organization, and it may lead to, let's say, quitting from the current job. So among the drawbacks of the informal organization. In an informal organization, there are many groups being formed by the employees. What does it mean by informal groups? It is a group of people who decide to interact among themselves, sometimes about businesses, sometimes about their colleagues, sometimes about other employees, sometimes about their employers. So this group emerged spontaneously, naturally, without any formal designation, without any set of rigid rules, okay? Without any written rules. Okay? They have their own unwritten rules and a code of conduct that everyone in the group agreed upon. Okay? The bonds between members are very strong, and it brings in a sense of belonging and togetherness among them. What are the examples of these informal groups? Okay, let's say in your own BA231A group, you will have, let's say, your lunch group. Okay, you will go out for lunch together every day, okay, during the semester. Okay, and you might have a group of, let's say, outing group. Okay, you'll go for movies, you'll go for shopping. Okay, you might have a group on your assignment. You are doing your assignment, that is your informal group. You'll have a group of, let's say, on an exercise group, you go for aerobic, you go for jogging, and so on. So these are called the informal groups. Okay, so their impact on the organization may be positive, may be negative, or may be irrelevant to the organization. What does it mean by a positive impact to the organization? Okay, they may reinforce the formal organization. They may work together to support the organization. But if it is negative, they may be work together in ways that run counter the organization's interests. Okay, so this might lead to office politics that we have discussed earlier in the disadvantage of the informal organization. How about the irrelevancy of the impact of these informal groups? Okay, they will do what they want to do that is unrelated to the organization. So this is all about the informal group. So in any organization, okay, there will be an informal groups. There will be many informal groups in the organization, as just as what you have in your class right now. You will have your own informal group. Even in our family, we will have our own informal groups in the family itself. Okay. In an informal organization, there is also this group of organizational grapevine that communicate grapevine in the organization. So what is Grapevine? It is the informal communication network that runs throughout the organization. It is actually an unofficial and personal communication channel or system that takes place within the organization as a result of rumor and gossip. Yeah, there are actually few examples of this grapevine. I'll give you some of the examples. Let's see. The CEO in the organization in company A may be in relation to the marketing manager. Yeah? So they may have friendly relation with each other that may leads the group in the organization to talk about them. Yeah, that is also that is called grapevine. One of the example of grapevine. The other example is, let's say, supposedly the company gained the as a certain amount of profit. Okay, so the rumor is spreading that this much of profit is there, and on that basis bonus will be declared. Alright, so that are among the examples of grapevine network of communication. And then we have two kinds of grapevine. Actually, we have more than that, but in this textbook, we'll just discuss on these two kinds of grapevines. Here, first is gossip chain. The other one is cluster chain. So what is gossip chain? Gossip chain occurs when one person spreads the message to many other people, often personal information. So each one of these people may in turn keep the information confidential. They keep it to themselves or pass it on to others. So that is what we call as gossip chain. It usually happen in the organization, in our class as well. We talk about someone else, we talk about the lecturer, we talk about our other friends in other classes, for example. The other type of grapevines is cluster chain. What is cluster chain? One person passes the information to a selected few individuals. These selected few individuals are called cluster. Alright, so some of the receiver will pass the information to a few other individuals, but some they may keep it to themselves. So this is called two kinds of grapevines, gossip chain and cluster chain. Alright, here, even though there are goods and bads of these grapevine, but we need to monitor, we need to manage the grapevine carefully, so that it will not affect negatively to the organization. So what are among the advantages? Let me give you on one of the examples. The grapevine serves as an emotional supportive value. Why? Because of this group, this organizational grapevine, you talk to your friend, and then you can share your emotion, and then your friend can support you, can give you a solution to whatever problem that you are facing, for example. Or other advantages, grapevine carries information rapidly as compared to the formal communication. Formal organization, grapevine carries information faster than formal communication. As soon as the employee gets to know some confidential information, they become too excited, alright, and then they pass the details to let's say to his or her closest friend, who in turn pass it to others. So that are among the advantages of grapevine. But there are a few drawbacks of grapevine communication. Among the drawbacks, maybe the information that you carries as the person who bring the information on, it is more based on rumors. It does not clearly depicts the complete state of the affairs. Let's say you talk about the affairs of the CEO and the marketing manager just now. Alright, so you do not know the exact information about the affairs of those two person in the organization. So you might create false rumors among the employees in the organization. Alright, another example of disadvantage is the productivity of employees may be hampered as they spend more time talking rather than working. You talk about the rumors in the organization, but not the tasks that they are given to you. So you are wasting your time talking about others rather than talking about your work. Let us move to the last subtopic for this chapter, which is intrapreneuring. Who are the intrapreneurs? Intrapreneurs are the in-house form of entrepreneurs. So intrapreneuring is defined as creating and maintaining the innovation and flexibility of a small business environment within the confines of a large bureaucratic structure. Let me explain to you in a more simpler word. Okay, entrepreneur are those who are in the organization and they do the innovations, the inventions. As compared to entrepreneur, they are the one who usually own their own business and they do the innovation for their own business. Okay, so intrapreneuring is defined as using the entrepreneurial spirit within a large existing organization. Okay, and usually intrapreneur examines how the entrepreneuring examine how the entrepreneurs and corporations can work together for mutual benefit. Historically, most innovations have come from individuals in small businesses. Most of the innovations comes from these small to medium businesses. Okay? As businesses increase in size, innovation and creativity are encouraged for more sales and profits. However, in some large companies, new ideas are even discouraged. Because of what? Yeah, in large company, if there is an innovation or invention, they need to have a stable financial status, because for a large companies, if they do innovation, it will be a big innovation, a large innovations, as compared to those small businesses. Okay, and champions of the innovation have been stalled in mid-career. As in intrapreneuring, there are 3 roles of intrapreneurial in large organization, which are inventor, product champion, and sponsor. So who are these inventor? Inventor can be anyone, a person who actually conceives of and develops the new idea, product or service by means of creative process. So this inventor is the employees in the organization who have new ideas, who wants to develop the current idea, the current product or services in the organization. So they are the inventors. As for product champion is usually a middle manager who learns about the project and becomes committed to it. Okay, he or she helps overcome the organizational resistance and convinces others to take the innovation seriously. So usually this product champion, they will monitor the innovation in the organization. And the last roles of intrapreneuring is sponsors. Okay, they are the top level managers who approves of and supports a project. Okay, so this person may fight for the budget needed to develop an idea. Okay, they may help you to present to the top management to fight for a budget. Okay, overcome arguments against the project and use organizational politics to ensure the project's survival. So these are the sponsors. They approve or they support the ideas that you come up with, the ideas of the new product, it is just an idea or a service. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. Thank you.